and the third since this present board was elected in Helsinki in August. And I, as president of ICOS, I just want to wish you all welcome to this presentation. And I immediately give the floor to the moderator this afternoon, who is Professor Peter Jordan. So please, Peter, yours. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Staffan, our president. Thank you. A cordial welcome to all of you, also from my side. It is a pleasure having you. And I'm Peter Jordan, as Staffan already mentioned, from Austria. I'm a geographer, a cartographer, and a toponymist. A special welcome to our presenters, whom I would like to introduce briefly in alphabetical order. Darius Gerczak is a historian and historical cartographer, a historian with a strong cartographic component, so to say, with a special focus on Silesia. He works at the Herder Institute for Historical Research on East Central Europe in Marburg an der Lahn in Germany. And I feel very connected with this institute also because of its director, Peter Haslinger. He's a historian and he was a colleague of mine at the former Austrian Institute of East and Southeast European Studies. And he was the first head of our branch office in Budapest at the time. This institute conducts also a project on the Soviet map work Carta Mira, also with a toponomastic aspect. And this project is conducted at this institute by Christian Lotz. So further in the sequence of speakers today, Francis Harvey is a geographer with a focus on digital humanities, visual perception, and graphic design. He held positions at several universities in Switzerland, in the United States, in Kentucky, in Minnesota, and in the United Kingdom, in Leicester. Since 2005, he has been staff member and is now head of the research group Data and Practices of the Leibniz Institute for Regional Geography in Leipzig in Germany. And I have to say that I feel also very related to this institute because we had earlier a long-term cooperation on our Atlas of Eastern and Southeastern Europe with this institute, and many authors of our maps were from there. Francis is currently also chair of the ICA Commission on Geospatial Semantics and Ontology. Last but not least, Eric Losang is from the same institute in Leipzig, a geographer and cartographer, but he studied also economics and political sciences. He's currently the chair of the ICA Commission on Atlases. The three of them will present a net application which enables looking for names of geographical features in what is today Poland, for names of all kinds, for current endonyms, for historical endonyms, for exonyms in various languages, for minority names, for majority names. And if you look for these names, they appear in tables and or are represented on maps where you can zoom into very large scales, and the names are categorized by feature categories. The application enables also to find out which names a certain place in modern Poland had throughout centuries, so to say, from the early modern age onwards, so from the 18th, 19th, 20th centuries up to the present day. You can find out which name changes occurred. And right under this aspect, I think Poland is a very illustrative example, since it underwent so many political changes. You know that in the late 18th century, there were the partitions of Poland, and Poland was extinguished from the map and divided among Russia at the time, Russia at first, and later Germany, Austria, later Austro-Hungary, and at the end of the First World War, it was restored as an independent country. It expanded in the interwar period further to the east after the Second World War, it was shifted by 200 kilometers from the east to the west. So we can, I think, expect a very interesting lecture. And I ask the first speaker to take the floor. This is, I think, Francis Harvey. Please,
Yes.
Francis, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very, very much, Peter, for that very warm welcome. I speak for all three of us that we're very honored to be here and able to present with you today. I know we had the technology working a moment ago. I just wanted to check, is it still working? Can you hear me, see me?
Yes,
or
it's all okay, I think.
Do you see the slides of the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Because I need to configure this because I'm not seeing the slides right now. Let me see if I click on that. Does this change it? Well, I do see the slides on my own presentation, so I will just move the slides forward. I will start the presentation. Eric Lozang will come in to give some background to you about other aspects of the Gazetteers.net application that we can use to compare differences in digital repositories from Gazetteers. And then Dariusz Gierczak will conclude with some examples and also a conclusion focusing on contributions of Gazetteers.net and potential for the future work. Let's see. Now I have to figure out. There. This is a screenshot of the Gazetteers.net application in which you can see various elements. Later on, both Eric Lozang and Dariusz Gierczak will explain this in more detail. I just want to say at this point to all of you who are listening that this application is available to all of you. The data that is in the application is restricted to the area that Peter Jordan was mentioning before in this online version, but you can obtain the software for the application. It is an open source application, and you could add your own data into the application that would be responding to your requirements. In this presentation, we want to start off in the part I'll talk about with just some brief notes about how Gazetteers are changing. I know Peter Jordan said a few words to this point, but I think I would want to go in a little bit more detail about this. Again, Eric Lozang will talk about the application, and then Dariusz Gierczak will talk about the examples and the conclusion. This is what many people you see on the right side, this Gazetteer index of the world, what many people think still is the Gazetteer. And indeed, for many years, this was defined and was without doubt that what is the representation of a Gazetteer. What you have is a table, and that's what Peter Jordan mentioned. It has the locations, and if it were to be published and included in an atlas, for example, then it would probably indicate the page number as well as the area on the map where you could find that place. But this is not the only version of a gazetteer. In the past, and gazetteers have a very, very long history of being developed for multiple purposes. They reflect different understandings of the geography and desires to organize, navigate, describe, and also govern space and territory. We could make this distinction as we do here between 6 epochs of gazetteers. What is important for this presentation is to mention that with the turn towards digital gazetteers, which we're currently in still, modern technology has greatly broadened their accessibility and utility. This doesn't only mean that they're now easier to use. Sometimes they are much more effective as resources for us to work with and identifying doing historical work, doing comparative work. You'll see this in the examples that Dariusz will talk about, but sometimes it can also create some new challenges for researchers in how they negotiate the issues of toponyms. These are particularly relevant for onomastics, and I know I'm looking forward already to the examples from Dariusz in this regard. what we see with the digital gazetteers is that there's very many of them. Institutions have digitized their records and have created sometimes interactive maps with dynamic geographical layers to make this information more successful. On the right, you see two examples of digital gazetteers, or at least some of the information from that. Open data and crowdsourcing initiatives have led to truly an exponential growth in the available of geographic data from gazetteers. This massive increase in the number of publicly available place names and geographic information has changed the potential of gazetteers so much that while gazetteers have become a very important technology in the creation of spatial data infrastructures, as well as other online services that people regularly use. As I mentioned, with gazetteers in their digital format, there are many gazetteers. There's more and more applications. There's a question of whether the increase in gazetteers and the increase in digital data in gazetteers means there's more uncertainty. This is a question that surfaced already in the 1990s at the National Consortium for Geographic Information Analysis in its projects developing some of the first digital, and helping to develop the first digital gazetteers, I should emphasize. They focus mainly on national mapping agencies with their particular emphasis on gazetteers in the production of cartographic materials. More recently, a project, the World Historical Gazetteer from the University of Pittsburgh, has worked on developing ways to align toponyms and historical research and to facilitate interactive processes for researchers to cope with the semantic resolution of associations between place names and places. In all of this, the handling of toponyms, for which Peter Jordan is one person who is very well known for his work, surface. For example, as you all will know, the challenges of exonyms and endonyms and how they can be resolved. Gazetteers.net does not attempt to resolve all these issues. It aims to create an application in which it is possible for researchers to look into these issues, to compare different gazetteers, and to ascertain which information is best suited for their purposes. This Gazetteers.net application will facilitate research with different gazetteer databases. We have 10 in the examples that Eric Lozang and Dariusz Gierczak will present, and they connect various databases in order to help researchers overcome the uncertainty challenge in working with toponyms. Gazetteers are also important in facilitating their usability for other research contexts, in that we can also export data from Gazetteers.net for other research use. With that, I think I'm going to hand over to Eric Lozang. Again, that's my kind of note to myself, and ask Eric to explain a bit more about the Gazetteers.net application. Eric? We can't hear you again.
So I share my screen now.
Okay. I have to stop mine probably.
Yeah, probably. So first of all, I would love to thank you, Peter, for your introduction, and thank you to your board for having us.
Should work now. Should work now.
Should work now?
Yes, I hope I found the button.
Well, now I have to find the button.
Top right.
Yeah, I got it.
I might need a moment.
Content only.
Do you want me to go back and to share, and then you just tell me to move forward?
Yeah, so we need to have plan B, because I can't share.
Okay, okay, fine, then I will share. Share screen. Share entire screen. Can people see this again? Covered
Yes, it's
Okay, very good. Okay, Eric.
Perfect. So just the
you tell
next
me
slide,
just
please.
forward or whatever you want to tell me.
No, just the next slide, please. So what I want to do is just to give you a brief introduction into what is the technical background and how can I use the Gazetteers.net application. That is when you enter it, your first screen that gives you, of course, directly the possibility to search for place names. But before we start searching, and I wanted to give you a live performance, but unfortunately we can't. So we have provided some slides in the presentation. This will not be live. Next slide, please. So what is the conceptual background of Gazetteers.net? It provides a unified search across multiple gazetteers, and I will come to the gazetteers later. And it supports the identification of items in these different databases and tries to give you a hint which of these geographical entities are identical or pretty close related. And the integrated gazetteers, they can be created simultaneously. So there is a process that we can manage the load into the app. And so we can query different databases simultaneously, and you will receive from different sources the results of your search. And the application uses filters, which then can be applied to all gazetteers. So we did a normalization of the gazetteers, and when we filter the results, then this filter applies to all gazetteers. Next slide, please. The gazetteers we are using is it's a twofold setting. It's actually the gazetteers that we do a live query to, and these are, of course, the gazetteers which are too big to obtain a database drop to our internal database. That's, of course, Wikidata, a collaboratively edited knowledge base that contains structured data about kind of all kinds of entities, especially of place names. All entities containing coordinates and assigned to a country in Eastern Central Europe were firstly downloaded, but attributes are taken. I come to that later. And they are part in the matching table that helps us to connect those gazetteers. But the query is a live query. The next live query is GeoNames. That is a global geographical database that most of you would know. And the third database that we go live on is Gov. That is a gazetteer by the German Association for Computer Genealogy, and it focuses mainly on settlements in the US and Australia and Europe, along with the historical names, to facilitate genealogical research in these regions. But it is a very helpful source if you want to historically look into the development of place names over time. And the second, next slide, please. The next gazetteers, they are all held on our own database, and they will be queried from this database and then connected to the other three gazetteers. And these are, as you see, some very special gazetteers, and some of them, like the Kashubian place name gazetteer, without further information on where is that place. So this gazetteer, as many gazetteers do, and as many gazetteers that comes from kind of original projects, does not have any longitude or latitude data, no coordinates. And so this particular gazetteer, we incorporated because we want to use the matching to other gazetteers to then obtain the locational data of the Kashubian place names and match them to other gazetteers. And there we have a matching system, which I will explain to you later. Next slide, please. So this is actually what you start with. So we have a functional UI, which is the filters and the search form, and we have a map UI, which we are using to give you a first idea of where these places are. Actually, for some of the researchers, the map is the nice thing to look at, but if you want to have in-depth information, after a search, you get not only the dots on the map. Next slide, please. You got a results window in the upper right. Can you go back to the other slide, please, Francis? Thank you. So we have many options of many search parameters. So you can specify the name in the place name search field, and you can use a wildcard symbol, the asterisk, for those places. You can use three search types, which is match word in name. That means that the Warsaw house in nowadays Karlsbad is given you if you look for Warsaw. So these are all places in all gazetteers that then are match part of the word, even if it's not a settlement, but I come to that in a moment. Then match the whole name. So you look for the name and it's only looking for the name in the respective data column. And so if you look for different names, then it only gives you mainly the settlements, because the other like hotels that are somewhere in places are left out because they match not the whole name. And then we have the original search. This is where you can put in diacritica that we normalized for normal people looking for place names, but you can do an original search over those gazetteers. You can do you can perform a locational search when you draw a rectangle over the map and you put in a name. It only gives you the name where the coordinates are within a particular rectangle. And of course, as another additional filter type, we have the settlements, and we obtained the data from different gazetteers. It's not always available from all gazetteers, where it's said that this place is a settlement, and then only these results will be taken with your place name and shown on the map. And of course, you can combine the search with a match a whole name and click on settlements and draw a region, and you should be able to obtain at least the place you are looking. You may look for, but very often with different other place names, and then it is up to you, because we don't provide a result. We provide the results that are coming from the gazetteers, but not if you are looking, I want to have just this place, and your search applies to many places, to many entities, I might say, then you see all these entities in the results list, and you can decide which of the places is the one you are looking for, because you can obtain then in the results list the data from the respective gazetteers. The next slide, please, Francis. And as you see, it gives you the results for the chosen gazetteers. Here we only have two gazetteers, so the GOV and the Historical Atlas of Poland, which is another valuable source that we are using. And this is actually the result. If you look for, that what I would have loved to show you, if you look for Gdansk, then you you can do that now. It's live and online. Then you will see a world map, and you see the Gdansk icefall in the Antarctic as well. And then you need to focus on Poland and the Gdansk region again. So this is partly because we use the live query with the 3 big, large gazetteers, and our database where we have the data drops of the 7 very specialized gazetteer databases. Next slide, please, Francis. So this is actually the overview of the results window that you get, and you can then click on either the signs on the map to obtain some more information, or you can then click on the results list, and there the information more information opens up for you to have a deeper look. What is the data behind this particular entry in a specific gazetteer? Next slide, please, Francis. Yep. You can choose mostly 3 or 4, otherwise it gets really messy on the screen. Results to compare them. For the comparison, we only have taken some then normalized data entries, which is normally the name, the variant names, if they are provided by the gazetteer, the position for you to look that up, the type. So we have different, if the gazetteer provides these types, we have the original types given here. And what is very helpful, I found, was that we have for the online gazetteers, we give you the link to the entity. So then this Gov gazetteer opens up, and you can look at the result that is given here in the comparison. Next slide, please. Yeah, and the last thing you can choose in the search, it's just at the bottom at an optional search, that's the matchings. And we provided the matchings as a first idea to kind of use something that like linked data. So we have a matching table in the background, and that will be then addressed, and it gives you besides certain normal kind of ideas, how can I match a place? Like we have a circle of 25 kilometers diameter that is not adjustable by the user by now, but we could adjust it in the background. So we took a circle of 25 kilometers around one particularly result, one entity, and all the other entities that are in the results, that they become part of this matching overview. That is one point we do. The other is we use word similarity. After normalization of the diacritics, we use normalization. We use the Levenstein distance to find similarities in the place names, and we have a threshold there, which is 2, actually. So it's very narrow. Something we would love to give to the user, that would be a further development of the application. So you can widen the Levenstein distance, or you can then have more similarities in your results. And the last thing is the matching table, and that connects, and hopefully you see that better than me, that connects one result to the other gazetteers. So you see that there is an entry, not here on the slide, but if you have an entry on Wikidata, then you will get the results of which gazetteer is mentioned in Wikidata, like gov is mentioned in Wikidata as one source for this particular place. And then it goes to gov and looks what other gazetteer is probably linked to gov. And that gives you a very often a good matching table where you then can compare this particularly with links, this particular result with in different gazetteers, and that might give you an idea to identify the place that you are probably looking for. Next slide, please. Yeah, and that's the matchings we do. So we have a threefold way of matching. So we have this particularly spatial and word similarity, and we have, of course, then this reference matching table in the back. Next slide, please. Yes, and that's a slide. So you can download the whole application and an introduction on how to organize a database that then works with the front end that we've shown you, and an idea about how we structured and how we did the normalization of the database drops that we obtained from different gazetteers. It's free for download. It's Apache 2.0 license, and it gives you a hard time to do the database, but then it works pretty fine. And then you can add more gazetteers that you did yourself into the system and compare against the 10 gazetteers that are already in. And with that, I would like to thank you and hand over to Darius.
Thank you. I would like to start my my examples. Maybe I will succeed. Yes, that's well. But before I start with the examples, I'm not sure what you are seeing. Well, one of the outcome of our application is not only the tool we use. There is also some text which I can recommend for easy reading what we did with the Gazetteer, and how one can fill it with local examples. Is the short statement of our colleague Gitgoldi Schlesberg, a PhD student in our project. Here's only the German title of this of his article, but it's also in English. If you click on the address, you can also change the language to English. I'm not very common with Teams. I hope it would work well. You probably can see now my screen with Gazetteers.net, right?
At least I see. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So maybe I show an example with Warsaw. Well, it's a capital of Poland, but as you see, there are a lot of hits, not only in Poland, and what is more astonishing, maybe, that you can find the hit for Warsaw in the National Geographical Names Register, which is the official database for Polish place names. But it's easy to explain. In this National Geographical Names Register, there are only Polish names, or the names of some some names of the minority languages, but not all. And even if they were completed, English is not not the official languages in Poland. You try to look for Warszawa in the Polish spelling. You will find also a lot of places, and actually the rest of the research was already explained by Eric. As you see, you have a lot of even in the Polish National Register, you have a lot of hits, but only one record is connected to the Polish. No, in this case, not only one, but only several of these are connected to the Polish capital. The rest are connected to the another administrative bodies connected to the Polish capital, like the voivodeship, which is like province in Poland, and some of the official other not official but territorial units like church, parishes, and so on. If you don't see all of them, you can also draw your search region like this, and it would be a little bit easier. Well, but you can also look for Warsaw in another languages, like German one, Warsaw. You have also a lot of hits if you look for Warsaw, for the German name. It's just because we included some German databases or German bases like Gemeinsame Normdatei, GND, Geschichtliches Ortsverzeichnis, and actually Wikidata is also German based. It's important for researchers in Poland because part of Poland were just under German administration for a long time. Well, but it's enough about Warsaw. Let's try for another hit. I would like to introduce a very common common scenario for using our database or our Gazetteer. The most probably the most people are looking after place names connected to their family, like genealogical searches, and in the most cases you have not the complete information, just a place of name of place name, which you are not really sure what that should be. And a common example is something like Nowe Miasto, which means more or less new town in English. And well, if you write a new town in the prompt, you have even most hits like for Nowe Miasto, maybe not in Poland, but in the whole world. And it's a sort of unspecific. In this case, you see that you need more information. There is one on a river Pilica, but you see a very strange thing. The 10 of 11 hits are concentrated in one region, where the town of Nowe Miasto nad Pilicą is located. why do you have different hits? One of the explanations, as Eric already said, is that there are hotels with this name and sport clubs sometimes and so on. And there are three administrative bodies connected to Pilica, or three hits connected to the place name. One is settlement, Nowe Miasto nad Pilicą. Another one is the community, and the third one is the city inside the community, because communities in Poland have another structure like in many other countries. There could be a town inside a community which is bigger than the community. And another problem could be that the records in different databases which have some information about the coordinates, the coordinates didn't match with the same place. Sometimes it could be the middle point of the community or another body or an administrative body. And in the other case, it could be the main building in the place, or maybe the head of the community, or whatever. But if the hits are more or less in the same place, you can be actually sure that that you find the right place. Sometimes I go back to Warsaw because yesterday I meant about this thing. It's far away from Warsaw. That's true. It's Warsaw. If you look on this hits, well, let's see, wrong one. You can't understand why they are connected to Warsaw, or Warsaw in this case. It shows the name of Warsaw, and if you look to the metadata, you see that it's somehow connected to the Polish, to now Polish capital. It was seat of the general government. It was a German body for parts of occupied Poland in the Second World War. If you go to the original link, which is of this gov, you see that that there are metadata connected to the occupied area in Poland. But if you look at the coordinates, there's the word geschätzt, which means it's just I'm sometimes lost for English names, English terms. It's not the original, must not be the original coordinates of this place. They are wrong here. The good thing on this Gazetteers that you could inform the operator of this internet site that the coordinates are wrong, which I didn't make, like you see. But in this way, you can not only see that there are sometimes mistakes, but as it has been already said by Francis and Eric, we can't provide better data than the original Gazetteers, which we included here in our research. that they do, because it's not our data, but the data of the gazetteers. Another one interesting thing about the using of the gazetteer is I'm sorry, maybe I show it in this this way. You see my screen? Do you still see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I put the name of Marrakesh in Tamazight. Tamazight is is a Berberic language used also in Morocco as administrative official administrative language, and this shows that even if our gazetteer is the main idea was to research Polish data names, you can also search for other names in any language and in any writing system. But in this case, you have the problem if you don't change the design of the gazetteers. You have only one. In this case, you will normally only one hit in the one gazetteer. It's geonames, because only geonames of all of these gazetteers provide the names in all more or less all languages, or at least all administrative languages. Well, I think it's all about the cases you can how you can research in this in our gazetteer, and I come up to summary and outlook. As you see, place names are as diverse as the word, and you can research if you connected more gazetteers, you can see more, but we decided to show it upon a map, because maps as digital products can be a better starting point for looking only for names, because you see also the distribution of the name. The maps and the gazetteers are now more in use, because the awareness of the interesting aspect of toponyms is used not only by researchers, but also from another person which needed or needed to use it for more personal reasons. And this increases the potential uses of maps. What is the problem of the most gazetteers are the historical names. Only a few databases provide them. If in newer databases, the older names disappear after a new version of the database is included. But there are also some historical gazetteers, like the World Historical Gazetteer, which includes also historical name, and on the right side of you see an interesting presentation about this one. The presentation, the project of our project, Gazetteers.net, is actually came to an end, but Francis and Eric are still working on make it better. And I'm not sure, maybe you want to say something more about it. If not, you can you can visit the internet site in some weeks. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, the three of you, for this very impressive presentation of a very useful and practicable tool, I think. What I find also very interesting, a very interesting aspect of this tool is that it enables or facilitates to trace the migration of names. The migration of names, in your case, from Poland to other parts of the world, to the New World, for instance. So in many cases, migrants took with them names and named their new destinations, their new places after their place of origin. I know several, and you can see on your tool, several Breslaus. Yes. For instance, Breslau is a historical endonym of a German endonym of what is today Wroclaw, and you find many Breslaus in Canada, in the United States, and even in South America, and so on. I think this is a very interesting aspect also of this tool. Well, thank you very much for this very interesting presentation. Well, the floor is open now for questions and for comments. You can use the microphone.